Good morning and welcome to Avebury. For those of you who don't know, Avebury is the quintessential English village. But what makes it special is it is contained within one of the largest, if not the largest, Neolithic stone circle in Britain. And it's a place we've been visiting for many years, and we do very often come at this time of year because it's so quiet. I mean, the only people that are around are the odd visitor and a few members of staff who work in the various places in Avebury. And the reason that Avebury is such good value is not only the stone circle, but there's a museum, there's Avebury Manor, there's two really nice gift shops, there's a couple of pubs in the area, and there's a cafe as well. Apparently 3 cafes at the moment. The main cafe's had a problem and they've had to close it. But there's so much to see here, and it's so pretty on a beautiful day like this. It's really lovely and sunny, and yeah, it's very, very quiet until the tourists start to arrive. But at this time of year, that doesn't happen en masse unless it's at the weekend. So this is Thursday morning, and it is really beautiful here, really nice. So I'm going to share with you a few bits of video and photographs, and I hope you enjoy them. So this is Avebury. Welcome to Avebury. So this is the beginning part of the stone circle from the street, from the village. So you walk down this path from the car park. There's Paul. There's the Henge shop, which has got all sorts of gorgeous new age goodies in it. So give that a visit if you go to Avebury. And here's a little view of part of the street, quintessentially English. And as you can see, it's rush hour in Avebury at the moment. Quite a few cars. That's the only drawback with Avebury. The road goes all the way through the village, but you can see the stones clearly from there. And what we're doing is we're walking across the top of the earthworks. I don't know whether you can make out that ditch. This is all chalk land, and there's a path that goes all the way round the top of this ditch. And you can see the earthworks there. Apparently when it would have been, the trees wouldn't have been there for a start, but when it was made, it would have been pure white with chalk and gleaming, so it would have been visible for miles around. And they do reckon it was a sort of ceremonial meeting place. But of course all the trees have grown up now. There's a truck going through. The trees have grown up, but those trees would not have been there. You can see part of the village across there. And I'm trying to give you a sense of us making our way across this chalk path all the way round. Now this tree is quite special. I'll show you the roots in a moment, but this shot gives you a sense of how deep this earthwork ditch is. The steps coming down, it's actually quite steep. But it's quite a deep ditch. There we go, you can see right to the bottom there. The tree here, it's got bare roots, and people hang things from the tree. They hang messages and ribbons. There's not many on there today. Now we're in the centre of the circle. We've moved across to the other side, and these are some of the large stones which are just beautiful. You can see we were lucky to have a gorgeous blue sky. And this again is looking across, and you can see the other side now. We've come to the other side of the circle, and you can see the earthwork in the distance. This part was actually fenced off for erosion control, but you can normally walk across the top of that earthwork in the distance, but we weren't able to. We got as far as we could, You've got another stone in the centre. A lot of the stones were destroyed, sadly, in the past by, I believe, Christians. Another stone in the centre. Not sure who that is. Get out of my shot. A tourist. It's still quite early. I think it was about 9 o'clock. There you can see the scale of one of the stones next to Paul. And all the stones have been given, sort of different names and, various areas divided up. But I'm not an expert on Avebury, so I've read a few books, but I'm not an expert and I can't remember all the names of the specific areas of the circle. But here we are, we're up at the fenced-off bit, and normally you can walk along that ridge, the top of that ridge, and that takes you to the road which intersects the circle. And we're going to cross over that road shortly. We're just having a good look around. We take our time at Avebury to absorb the atmosphere. Oh, there's Paul again. More traffic. There's the road, and this is looking across the road. We're going to show those stones in close up in a moment. And this is the remainder of the circle. You can see the church in the background and the buildings that house the cafe and the shop. Amazing. Beautiful stone. Incredible. And as you can see, the cars, traffic noise can be a problem at Avebury. Now, those triangular stones are markers where stones would have been in the past, because like I said before, a lot of the stones were destroyed, believed to be pagan and evil, that kind of thing. This is giving you a scale of the earthwork on the other side. The ditch continues all the way round, and you can see here it's just as big on this side. You can actually walk into it, but unless you want to fall over and break a hip, it's not a good idea. And the circle continues. There's Paul having a good look at this stone. It's actually got a lot of sparkly quartz on this stone. I'm going to have a closer look. You can't really see the sparkling parts on it, but it was sparkly in the sun. I think this looks a little bit like two figures, almost like a Henry Moore. And this one's particularly interesting as well. I don't know whether anybody remembers the series in the, I think, late 70s, early 80s called Children of the Stones. Well, that was filmed in Avebury. Very spooky series, meant to be a children's series, scared the hell out of me. You can get it on YouTube, look it up, Children of the Stones. Again, this is showing the earthwork. And like I said before, originally, apparently, it would have been gleaming white and would have been such a sight for people approaching. Part of my shadow there. We're closer to those barns now. I love those shadows. You can tell it's early in the morning with those long shadows. And this is looking back where we've come. You can see the road. It was actually striking 10, but I missed half of them. That's Avebury Manor, which you can visit, and you can touch and sit on everything. It's a very interactive place. We've never actually been. That's on the list. We had quite a bit to see today, so we decided not to visit the manor. And this is right next to the churchyard, which you're going to see in a moment. There we go, this is the church. Lovely sky. Paul coming out of the church unscathed. The wrath of God hasn't struck him down. It's a lovely church. I'm not religious, but I do like a good church. And this is the entrance to the church, and we're actually back in the street now. So that's the end of this video. Stay tuned for the next part, where we take you to another area. So thanks very much for watching.